In this do-it-yourself, I will teach you how to make a box out of a simple birthday card or greeting card. So first what you want to have is your greeting card. I have this one. I like this one because there's peonies on it. As you can see, those are my favorite flowers. You only need one side of the card. Since we're going to make a box, it'll probably be in the center somewhere. So what I do is rip the card, and you have one side. What you want to do is measure a square. So how to measure a square is you take a ruler, measure the one side, it's 5.5 inches. So I turn it over here, measure 5.5 inches. And you can also, instead of just doing this, you can fold the paper like this and find your square, but I don't like to have a crease on my box. So I like to measure it first with the line, and I usually never use scissors, so I'll just rip it with the ruler. Okay, now we have a square. So the center of it will be right here. So this will be our box. It's not going to be that big, but what we need to do first is on the opposite side is find the center. So how you do that is you take a straight edge and on each corner, like so, and then you'll mark a little mark in the center, and then do the same thing on this side like this. Do a little mark, like line up the corners and do another mark here. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Make sure you always measure twice, cut once, or line it up twice and write it once. This is going to be your center point. Now we don't need your rulers or your pencils. It's just folding. You do need a pair of scissors for the last couple of steps. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing all the way around. First, you're going to fold this to the center point here. So that's what I'm going to do. Fold it like so, and then I'm going to fold it again. Make sure the tip does not slide down the paper. It's good if you have thick paper, so it's not gonna slide. The thinner you use it, the thinner the paper, like construction paper, it starts to slide. You just have to make sure that that center point stays there. So I have this, and then I'm gonna unfold it, and I'm gonna do that to all the other 3 sides. Make sure you're holding your center point down and unfolding it each time. Center point. Okay, and then unfold it again, and then the last one. So what you should start to see is when you fold your last one, you should see a square from the folds on the inside of your box. And then from then on, this is what we're going to do. You're going to take your card, and it's going to be just like this, placed on the table in front of you. So that's points. What you're going to do is you're going to draw a line up to that square. I'm going to draw up the square in pencil so you can see it and match it with yours. So do you see that square that has been formed with the folds? What you're going to do is you're going to cut like a section here to these corners. So I'm going to draw the lines so you see what I'm saying. You won't see any of these lines on your box. So cut to the box, which is here. I'll erase this line so you're not confused. So cut to the box here, and then do the same thing on the opposite side. So it doesn't matter which one you do, it just has to be on the opposite sides. These are the easiest steps. The hardest part I've found is the folding. And I'll tell you which step is the hardest. So I'm cutting to the edge, and I'll show you my final. Flip it over. Cut to the square. The more precise your cuts and folds, the more exact your box will look. So then what you have here are these like 2 triangles and these other little flaps right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 triangles, and you're going to put them to the center point like this. Okay, and then you're going to hold it up like a boat. Fold them up like this. Then I'm going to take these 2 flaps right here and fold them in. Fold one in all the way like this. And then fold the other one in. Some people make the mistake and only fold these little flaps here. No, you have to fold the whole thing to the corner. So you're shaping around the square, the center square that you have. And then you're gonna take this flap and put it over top. Tuck it in there, flip it over, push this one here, and then flip this one over. And then there's your box. What you can do now is you take this part, the other part of the card, and then you measure your square, but make it 1/4 of an inch shorter on each side. So all you would do is measure your 5.5, but it would be, instead of 5.5, it would be 5.25 on the bottom, and then 1/4. And then you would cut off 1/4 of an inch from the other side. I cut off the bottom. Now I gotta do 1/4 of an inch off of this one side, and then I should be good to go. And then you follow the same steps. So you would take off 1/4 of an inch on the other side. This is the first one that I did, and then the second one, and then follow the same steps that make the box. And then here's your bottom, here's your top. They should kind of fit together, and there you have your box. The more you move it in and out, the easier it'll become. Sometimes you get a little flap that doesn't like to stay. You can just put some Scotch tape right there. Perfect.